My name is Brianna C. I'm a third-year medical student at Nova Southeastern University, and I'm a tutor for science for all grades, K through 12, and college students, as well as a math tutor, and I tutor test prep for all of your high school and college entrance exams. Today, I'm going to be taking you through an important topic to prepare you for fourth grade science. That important topic is adaptations that animals have that meet their needs. So when we talk about adaptations, an adaptation means changing to meet your needs. This can be if there is a change in the environment and we need to change something. For example, if the environment is cold and we need to be hotter. Or this can be if a human say needs different things than a dog. A human is uniquely adapted to meet those needs. These adaptations fall into two categories that we're going to talk about today. There are physical adaptations, and there are behavioral adaptations. And they are what they sound like. You're making an adaptation or a change to something physical or something behavioral to meet those needs. So a physical adaptation, that means the thing that is changing is a physical trait. This usually happens on a long time scale. It happens as species evolve, meaning those species change over time. For example, let's say we have a giraffe. And that giraffe wants to eat some leaves that are high up in a tree. He needs to make a physical change. Which is growing the neck taller to be able to reach those leaves in the trees. So this giraffe made a physical change or a physical adaptation. Now, if there's a taller tree, this giraffe can eat all of those tall leaves. He changed a physical trait. This is a physical adaptation. This happens over time. So what happens is because giraffes need to eat tall trees, each generation of giraffes gets taller. So if I'm a mama giraffe, I have a slightly taller baby giraffe. And then they have the grandbaby giraffe, and that gets slightly taller. And then that grandbaby giraffe has its own baby giraffe, and it gets slightly taller. So this can happen over multiple generations. Some physical adaptations, though, can happen over a short period of time. So let's look at a physical adaptation that can happen at a short period of time. Let's say that I'm a bear. And the winter is coming. So I need to hibernate. What I should do to hibernate is I should get big and fat. Being big and fat lets the bear store energy. With that stored energy, the bear can use that throughout the whole winter. So it made a physical change. The physical change was getting fatter. This actually brings us into talking about the next type of adaptation. So the second type of adaptation, it is a behavioral adaptation. With a behavioral adaptation, it's an adaptation, so it is a change. And it's a behavioral adaptation, so it is a change in behavior. Let's say, for example, I'm in my house in Florida, and it's really hot out. So when I get dressed, I should get dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. So everything I wear in Florida is going to be short sleeves. But let's say the holiday time comes. We have Christmas, we have New Year's, we have all sorts of holidays. Now it's winter, and I'm going to visit my family in New York. In New York, it's very cold in the winter. So I need to change my behavior. When I get dressed in the morning, I'm going to make different choices or act differently. I'm going to choose to wear a hat so I'm not cold. Instead of short sleeves, I'm going to choose to wear a big, puffy winter coat so I'm not cold. And I'm going to wear some nice, big, bulky sweatpants, or maybe even snow pants, and some boots so I'm not cold. This is a behavioral adaptation. I changed my behavior. I changed the choices that I make to dress more warmly. Other animals can make these adaptations too. So let's say I have my two little puppies, and I bring my two little puppies with me to New York. When we're in Florida and my puppies are hot, they make some choices to stay cool. They drink a lot of water. I help them make this choice, but this is their behavioral adaptation. They choose to walk early in the morning and late at night when it is cooler. I take them for their walks right when I wake up and right when I go to bed. And they pant more to cool off. So they change their behaviors to stay cool. If I bring my little puppies with me, when I go visit my mom and dad in New York, they're going to change their behaviors to stay warm too. When we're in the house, my puppies choose where they sleep. Maybe they'll sleep at the fireplace because it's nice and warm. Or maybe they will choose to lay in the sun because that gives them more warmth. Or when we walk them, we will walk midday. We'll walk midday when it's warmest to help the puppies stay warm. And my dogs don't like this, but some people, they give their dogs little boots or little sweaters or little hats and coats. I wish my dogs would wear little booties, but they don't like them. They're not willing to change that behavior to stay warm. But some people's dogs, if they get cold enough, they'll wear little boots. They'll make a behavioral adaptation. So another example of a behavioral adaptation is some animals are awake during the day. They're diurnal. Some animals are awake during the night. They're nocturnal. So diurnal is the word for awake in the day. Nocturnal is the word for awake in the night. This is a behavioral choice when they're more active. So that is a behavioral adaptation. But for some animals, that behavioral adaptation goes with a physical adaptation. So for example, an animal that is awake at night, bats, their behavioral adaptation is they choose to be nocturnal. So the behavioral is the choice, is that they are awake at night. But they make that choice because they have a physical adaptation. They are not completely blind, but they can't see that well. And they have echolocation. So they are capable of locating their prey by using sound signals, not by seeing. So the night is the best for them to use their physical adaptations. It's quieter at night, so they're able to use their echolocation more specifically. They can't see, so they don't benefit from the light during the day. So let's think about an animal that's awake during the day. How about humans? So we choose our behavioral adaptation is that we are awake during the day. That's a behavior and it's a choice that we make. We know that because maybe you know somebody who works a night shift. They work overnight somewhere and they adapt their behavior. But this is based on physical adaptations that we have. We see really well. We rely on our sight to do most things. I rely on my sight to see where I'm going when I'm walking. I rely on my sight to recognize my family members and friends. I rely on my sight to drive my car. I rely on my sight to do my job and to be able to see what I'm writing on the board to teach people. So because I rely heavily on sight, I need to be awake during the day when it is light. I'll find all of those things more difficult to do at night. So that is a physical adaptation, interacting with a behavioral adaptation. So the behavioral is the choice, is being awake in the day for humans and being awake in the night for bats. But it's often based on physical adaptations that we have. Seeing being the most important sight for a lot of human activities. And echolocation being the most important sense for a lot of bat activities. Those physical functions change our behavioral functions. So what we're going to do next is we're going to decide what is a physical adaptation and what is a behavioral adaptation. So let's look at this one. My dog feels hungry, so she eats. This is a behavioral adaptation. Because eating is a behavior that she controls. She chooses to eat. What about this one? I am cold, so I put on a sweater. This is a behavioral adaptation because I choose how I get dressed. I put on a sweater. What about this one? I am cold, so I shiver. This one is tricky. Shivering is an action, but it is not a behavior that I can control. So this is actually going to be physical. I can modify it with behavioral, like putting on a sweater. What about this one? Cats and mice. So they can see movement and hear very well. So hunting mice as a behavioral choice, but developing the ability to see movement and hear well. Those things are physical adaptations. Those animals, cats, develop the ability to see and hear well by evolving that way or by physically being that way. What about this one? A fish lives in water, so it has gills. This one, gills, this is a physical trait of the fish. It can't change the fact that it has gills. I can't grow gills because I want to. It's a physical adaptation. It's a trait that makes a fish a fish. What about this one? A tadpole has to move from water to land, so its tail gets shorter. So what happens here? It has a physical adaptation with its tail getting shorter that is a trait changing. As it becomes a frog, it won't have any tail at all. But moving to water, that's a behavior. When I move to water from land, that is a behavioral adaptation. So as a little tadpole, it might be safer to stay in the water. But as the frog gets bigger, there are more opportunities to find mates, more opportunities to find food, to have the opportunity to lay eggs on land. So that frog changes its behavior. So that one is a behavioral adaptation. So the key concept here is that with a physical adaptation, you are changing your traits, or you are changing something that you cannot control. With a behavioral adaptation, you are changing the way you act, or you are changing something that you can control. So that's it for our physical and behavioral adaptations. So hopefully you learned a lot about this really cool concept of how adaptations work. If you want even more help getting ready for 4th grade, if there's anything else you want to learn about math or about science or about English or anything for 4th grade, definitely come online. Ask your mom or dad to help you, connect with me, find a great tutor, schedule some lessons with me, or catch some more Get Ready For videos. We have Get Ready For videos for every subject. So if you want to practice some skills for math to get ready for 4th grade, or you want to practice your reading or writing, check out some more Get Ready For videos so you can keep learning. I hope to see some of you for some more tutoring and some more lessons, and I hope you have a great 4th grade year. Best of luck.